Hein, we were talking about all these commodity prices and how strongly they've run, but over the past couple of days, it's the resources stocks that have been dragging the market lower. Why so?
Well, I think, again, it's a breather, and it's an opportunity to buy, because I believe that South Africans tend to invest in commodities. Because it's such a large part of our market, they feel it's an overinvestment and maybe too many eggs in one basket, and then usually they underinvest and they usually miss the market when the market starts to run. When you compare, for instance, today's laggers to the stocks that went up the most, you'll find that the ones that went up the most are stocks like Richemont, for instance, that went up by over 3% today. That's been up 58% in the past 52 weeks. It is a new high, whereas a stock like Impala Platinum is, for instance, only 4% up on 52 weeks, and it is over 40 Rand lower than its high. You know, and I think those are opportunities to maybe get into those stocks, for instance, on the commodity side.
Well, we were chatting, we were doing some technical analysis a little bit earlier, looking at the charts, and those platinum shares have really moved sideways for the past year. So while we've had the market ramping up, platinum shares in particular have been doing very, very little.
Yes, I think in the end, the market is not convinced yet that the world is out of the slump, and that demand is really going to pick up on those. I think they actually want to see real demand coming in consistently before they will start to follow the stocks. But the stocks are actually lagging the metals.
Well, just looking at the prices on those stocks, we've got Impala Platinum trading at 213 Rand, so down 2.5% today. Anglo Plat's also down. Would you be buying at these levels? What sort of upside would you envisage for Impala Platinum, for instance?
Yes, I would like them to come down even a little bit more from these levels, because it is a little bit higher than it was some time ago, and I think it can come down a little bit more. If you look, for instance, at the commodity-driven markets, the FTSE, the South African market, the Australian market, you'll find that we've seen definitely a toppishness and a bit of a downward trend now coming back into the market, which means that I wouldn't be surprised if we see the market going lower on those stocks, which will give you better opportunities, but maybe you can start to nibble.
Well, Richemont up 3 1/3% today, above 40 Rand, and as you said, this is a share that has been running very hard, also partly on that China story with the demand for luxury goods coming out of China. What sort of upside for Richemont from these levels?
Well, I can reveal today that it is because all the people from the third world countries coming down in Switzerland at Davos, that they expect them to go into the luxury goods, and that will boost Richemont, but that's not really the true story. No, I'm
surprised you're not going to Davos.
Someone has to be here and keep the economy going.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, there were stories that Switzerland expect their watch exports to go up this year quite a lot, and they together with Swatch, Richemont is one of the biggest manufacturers of watches in Switzerland. Then over and above that, we had the trading update, which showed that they went up by 23%. The biggest demand was in Asia, the best performance there, and on all the various sectors they went up in double figures. You know, so I mean, and they are very high. I think people sort of sit there and they want to buy, and they feel, it pulled back on Friday, and they jump into the market, and it just boosts the share then again.
Not surprising that 3 of the 4 biggest losers today, gold stocks, Anglo Gold, Harmony and Goldfields, all falling between 2 and 3%, but we had that gold price pulling back very sharply today as well. That's right,
and the Rand, you know, we expected this morning that the Rand was now starting to strengthen again, hitting a low or high of 6.98, and then suddenly it jumped back to 7.07. That also had an effect on the market, but I also think that Citigroup's announcement yesterday that they were a bit negative on our 3 biggest gold producers also had an effect on today's gold shares coming down.
Just in closing, Hein, if we are seeing a bit of a pullback in these markets, what sort of a pullback would you be waiting for before you started to put fresh money back into the market?
Stephen, you know, one must be very careful in a market like we've had lately, and that is, I think the trend is in general upwards, and you mustn't be too greedy to wait too long for too big pullbacks. But on the other hand, you mustn't buy shares that's keeping hitting new highs. So my strategy at the moment is that I concentrate on high dividend shares, and I go for those type of shares, the British American tobaccos, the Kumbas, the PPCs, companies like that. I like a company, for instance, like SAB, with you know, it's just a high growth rate company. You get high growth in the dividends and in the earnings, and eventually in the price as well.
Hein, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you, Stephen.